Good morning. It's Saturday, April 23rd. Thank you so much for being here today. Our everyday focus for today, the thoughts we want to zero in on, is what is our mission? God has a mission for us. We looked at Psalm 8, and we see that God made us, crowned us with honor and dignity, with glory. Your translations will have some variation of that theme. We as people are a royal creation, crowned with honor and glory and dignity by God. That gives us our worth, that gives us our identity, but it gives us our mission. And this is where it gets practical, sometimes painfully practical. Thumbnail this morning: treat others with respect, especially when they're wrong or when they've done wrong to you. You see, everything about that is counterintuitive to us. It doesn't seem right, it doesn't seem fair. But remember what God tells us over and over again, highlighted in Isaiah: God's ways are not our ways. He does things differently than we do. He calls us to be royal people. People who represent God well, who represent Him as royalty, because we are royalty. So, in the New Testament, you see, I believe this theme because this is a creation theme. Psalm 8 is just a restatement of Genesis 1, about how God created man and the purpose He created man for. And by man, I mean men, women, children, old, young, teenagers, the race of people, humanity. He created us to do royal things. We're His workmanship, to honor Him. That's the specialness that we are. So when someone does something wrong, especially if it's towards us, our natural tendency is to take on the role of God and treat them as we believe they deserve to be treated, rather than treat them with honor and respect and dignity, not condoning the sins or the awful behavior that they may be engaged in, but to respond to their wrong behavior in the way that God instructs us to. So we read in Philippians to treat others as more important than ourselves, to return good for evil, as it says in Romans. That a soft, gentle answer is what turns away wrath, turns away the anger of other people. You see, what we try and do is we try and take the place of God, insert ourselves into the equation. We're going to be angry, we're going to demand justice, we're going to demand that we not be treated the way that people are treating us. And we're not going to allow them to do it. It's true. We don't have to allow people to treat us the way that they want to do it, especially if it's wrong treatment. But we do that in the way that God calls us to. We do that in a way that brings honor to God, and let God do His thing. Let God represent us through Him. That we have enough faith that God sees the wrong that's happening, and He's got a plan for us. Humility and gentleness, responding the way that He's called us to, is really not trying to change the other person, because you know what? What's our experience? We don't do very well when we try and change people, do we? But God can change those folks. So if I'm appealing to Him, using the weapons that He gives me, the fruit of the Spirit, the soft answer, the pleasant words promote instruction, treating someone with honor when they are dishonorable, when someone is being irritated, responding with grace. Because if I respond back with trying to take control, trying to be talk over them, trying to be in charge, rather than appealing to God, then I've taken God's job upon myself. And you don't have to be a rocket theologian to figure out that when I try and take God's job upon myself, that's not going to end well. But if I follow what he says, and I'm appealing to him, and I respond in the way that he's called me to, then I'm depending upon God to do what I can't do. That eases stress for me. It eases stress in the other person. It allows you to trust God in a new, fresh way, a powerful way. Think about that. Treating other people with respect, because they too, despite their rotten behavior, have been crowned with honor and glory and dignity. Just as there are times when you and I are engaged in rotten behavior. And what we desire is not to be treated fairly, but to be treated with the grace that God called us to. That's why we call the golden rule, treat others as you would want to be treated. Because you are, the best way we can honor God is to faithfully follow his ways and acknowledge and bow to his will and realize he's the one that changes people and not us. So yes, we want to treat people with honor and respect, especially when they do the wrong thing. And that's the thought for this day. Beautiful implication, powerful implication from Psalm 8. Thanks so much for being here. If you haven't subscribed, turn on post notifications. These videos will come right to you. Check us out at videotalk247.com. Thank you so much for all of your care and support. Love to hear from you. And you have a great weekend, and Lord willing, we'll see you Monday morning. Bye-bye.